Welcome, everyone. I am going to give us a moment or two to watch these inspiring images and these big falls of balancing objects. So please settle in. If you're working along with us, please grab your materials and settle in for a little bit of inspiration.
係，咁我哋而家播放呢個視頻咧，係關於我哋佢哋平時有做嗰個平衡嘅雕塑。咁如果你喺呢度睇咧，你有受到啟發嘅話，你可以去攞翻你個材料嚟，等間可以一齊製作。
For our team joining here, feel free to ask questions with the chat or by unmuting. We're eager to hear your voices and see your ideas.
係啦，喺成個過程當中咧，你可以隨時將你嘅問題打喺聊天室或者係取消嘅靜音嚟發問問題嘅。
Great. Well, I hope that gave everybody a little bit of time to get materials together, to have a little bit of inspiration. I am so honored and excited to welcome you all to the Tinkering Together Festival.
今日好開心，大家一齊參加我哋一齊搗鼓嘅平衡研討會啦。
The Tinkering Together Festival is an online opportunity for us to think together, notice together, and reflect on tinkering in early childhood.
咁呢個一齊組鼓個研討會咧，個創意節咧，其實係俾一個機會我哋大家聚埋一齊去互相啟發，一齊去反思，一齊去學習嘅機會嚟嘅。
And we're hoping that through everything on the Tinkering Together website and through this workshop, we have the opportunity to share and hear the voices of so many people caring for young children and thinking about tinkering together.
咁我哋呢個創意節嘅目的咧，係通過我哋在線我哋嘅Tinkering 呢個網站啦，同埋我哋而家嘅研討會啦，就希望所有嘅早期兒童教育者聚集埋一齊，咁我哋可以分享我哋嘅諗法，係一齊學習嘅。
Before we start with introductions, I just want to appreciate the generous funding of the National Science Foundation for this workshop and for the whole festival.
係啦，咁我哋呢個創意節咧係由國家科學呢個 National Science Foundation 去贊助支持嘅。
Before anything else, I want, as you're all hearing, we are here together in a bilingual setting. We are speaking English and Cantonese today.
你留意到啦，我哋呢個研討會係雙語嘅，係用廣東話同埋英文去進行嘅。
And I'm going to introduce myself and then pass it to my colleague, Sue Ellen, who will introduce herself. And she is doing the work of facilitating and translating today. My name is Casey Federico. I'm an early childhood educator in San Francisco, and I work really closely with the Tinkering Studio at the Exploratorium.
咁 Casey 咧係三藩市呢個 Tinkering Studio 嘅一個三藩市早期兒童教育者，咁佢同Tinkering Studio 咧係有好親密嘅合作關係嘅。咁今日我係嚟呢度做翻譯同埋做 facilitator 做主持人嘅，我個名叫 Sue Ellen， 咁我都係三藩市早期兒童教育者。So I'm just introduce myself, by the way.
Will you introduce yourself in English too, Sue Ellen?
All right, I always forget it. So hi everyone, I'm Sue Ellen. So I work with San Francisco early education field for almost 15 years. So I'm so glad I can work with the team of you guys to learn together. Thanks.
Thank you, Sue Ellen. And then I'm going to pass it over to Steph to introduce herself as well.
Hi everyone, I'm Steph. I'm a museum educator on the Tinkering Studio team, so I do a lot of activity design and development, and I'm really excited to build with you all today.
係啦 ，Steph 咧，佢就係佢係一個博物館教育者嚟嘅，咁佢今日同我哋一齊去進行呢個平衡研討會。
The group that if you are not on our Zoom, if you are joining via YouTube, the group that you are getting to meet and work with today is a bilingual group of educators from San Francisco, early childhood educators, family childcare providers, Head Start teachers, preschool teachers, and lots of different programs around the city.
係，今日你哋見到嘅所有教育者咧，係嚟自三藩市嘅家庭教育者啦，同埋啟蒙教育者啦，同埋學前教育老師啦。咁我哋聚集埋一齊去禱告。
And this group, we gather together every month because we are part of a professional learning community or a community of practice who are thinking together about how do we use cardboard with young children.
咁你見到我哋呢個小組咧，其實我哋係每個月見面一次嘅專業學習小組、專業學習群組。咁我哋就係利用呢個紙板作為一個主題，我哋聚集埋一齊，我哋去研究、去探索有乜嘢可以同小朋友一齊做嘅。
Wonderful. So we're going to jump in just a moment to building together. But I am really thankful that we have so many partners all together. And I'm going to pass it on to you, Steph, to talk a little bit about materials and getting started.
係，咁今日我哋就一齊去製作我哋自己嘅個產品啦，個作品啦。咁我哋而家有 Step 同我哋介紹我哋需要啲咩材料去做呢個平衡雕塑。
Thank you. So I'm very excited because today we are building moving balancing sculptures that balance on a point.
係 Step 話今日佢好興奮啊，因為我哋要做嘅嘢就係利用一個支撐點可以將物件平衡到可以喐動嘅雕塑。
And so you got to see some of the examples in the video before. This is one that has some forks, a pencil, tape, and cardboard.
咁頭先你喺個 video 嗰度都見過有啲例子㗎啦。咁佢呢個咧係由個叉、膠布、鉛筆同埋紙板去製成嘅一個平衡雕塑。
And you'll see that it's not attached to my finger or the base that I'm putting it on.
咁咧，佢同佢嘅手指係接觸咧，係得一個支撐點嘅啫。
So a good place to start when you're building balancing sculptures is to make a stable base.
如果我哋要製造一個平衡嘅雕塑咧，第一件事咧，我哋要製造一個穩定嘅、堅固嘅底部基底。
And this is one example. So I've taped a pencil to a jar, and it means I can build instead of holding my sculpture.
咁啊 ，Step 而家俾個例子咧，就係用膠布將支鉛筆黐喺嗰個玻璃樽上邊，咁佢就唔使揸住上邊嗰個平衡嗰嚿，成日都揸住啦，咁佢就 hand free 啦。
I also have a mug that's full of beans with a pencil in it, and I could also use that as a base.
咁另外一個例子咧，佢就用啲豆擺喺個杯嗰度，就插支鉛筆上去。咁呢個都係另外一個例子，係一個基底穩固嘅基底。
And I'll show one more.
仲有
So this is a jar with a ball in it, and that is another thing where I can use the ball to balance a sculpture.
另外咧，好似你見到啦，可以攞個樽將個網球擺上面，佢用另外一個材料放上去，都可以一樣平衡到。
So this is one of my favorite activities because it uses ordinary materials in kind of playful, unexpected ways.
呢個係佢最中意嘅活動啦，因為你可以用任何一種材料，你可以可以自己嘗試去玩好多唔同嘅方法同埋唔同嘅材料。
And I want to encourage everyone to take off your educator hats for a minute and just experience this as a learner.
係啦，咁 Steph 就邀請大家將你教育者呢個角色同埋呢頂帽除去咗，就邀請你作為一個學習者，作為一個新嘅學習成員，去利用呢個工具去自己去摸索下。
So now, Casey, I would love it if you could show us some ideas for connector parts since I introduced my materials so far.
Sure.
咁
So-
Seb 咧就頭先就介紹咗點樣去揾啲咩嚟做一個穩定嘅基底啦。咁佢而家邀請 Casey 咧係話有乜嘢係可以將兩件物底係 connect 埋一齊，即係連接埋一齊嘅。
So thank you so much, Steph. This is the part that I've had the honor of getting to do this activity a few times, right?
Casey 話佢做過呢個嘗試係幾次。
And so I've been thinking a lot about what are the ways that, along with making my base and building up, I can connect materials in different ways. And so one of my very favorites is clothespins.
係啦 ，Casey 喺度諗當佢做呢樣嘢嘅時候，佢話有乜嘢可以將呢兩個物體，將個基底同埋個平衡支架連埋一齊咧？佢就話佢最中意嘅就係三架啦，木三架。
But one of the other things I'm going to be playing with today also are buttons. And I have some wire. And my hope is that I can stick the wire through the button holes and make some connectors that way as well.
另外一樣嘢就係我哋嘅紐扣啦，同埋啲鐵線，就將嗰啲鐵線穿過去嘅紐扣入邊。
And then finally, and Steph knew that we were the cardboard PLC and thinking about cardboard. And so cardboard is one of my favorite materials.
另外一樣嘢就係紙板啦，你知道我哋做緊一個叫紙板嘅專業發展群組啦，咁紙板係佢最中意同埋最常用嘅材料。
And so with this little piece of cardboard, I've cut 2 holes in it, and only one of my hole punches worked with cardboard. And so they're kind of little holes, but my plan is to use them to put different connectors through. So here I have different pencils, and I'm hoping that I can kind of make wider and longer connectors using my cardboard connectors like this.
咁佢就喺紙板上面打兩個窿，呢個兩支唔同嘅鉛筆，佢可以將鉛筆插入去嗰個紙板嗰度，咁佢可以整佢長啲同埋多啲。
Great. So thank you, Casey, for introducing some connectors.
咁多謝 Casey 同我哋介紹呢幾種嘅唔同嘅連接器啦。
And now I've collected some feathers. I have some pencils. I have some washers.
咁 Seb 咧就佢收藏咗，佢有收集埋啲鉛筆啦、電圈、箭圈啦，同埋啲羽毛喎。
And we're going to spend the next about 20 to 25 minutes building. This is an activity that you could spend hours on, that you could return to. So we know it's a limited amount of time.
係，接落嚟咧，我哋會花25分鐘去整我哋自己個sculpture， 即係整我哋個自己個雕塑。但係咧，我哋知道20分鐘係唔夠嘅，但係你可以翻轉頭再整，你可以花幾多時間喺度都可以嘅。但係我哋今日有25分鐘去做。
And so with that, this is a great time for all of you who are participating in our Zoom webinar. You can make sure your camera is pointed towards your work surface so we can see what you're doing.
喺呢個研討會上面咧，而家一個好好嘅機會，咁你就可以將個鏡頭調低啲，可以照住你個工作台面，咁我哋就知道你點樣喺度係點樣製作嘅。
And I would love to invite anybody who doesn't have their camera on and is able to put their camera on, that would be great. And if you want to do the fold down so that we're seeing your hands working, that's wonderful for us.
係，如果你冇開鏡頭又唔想見到個樣嘅話，其實呢個係一個好機會，可以將鏡頭拉低，淨係見到你隻手喺度喐。
Steph, is it okay if we ask about some of the materials people brought just to get started?
Yeah, for sure. And I wanted to say we can start too by feeling free to unmute, because part of the fun of this is hearing when things fall down.
Yes.
係，我哋想邀請大家睇下大家今日帶咗啲乜嘢嚟。咁其實係可以開咗個咪嘅。咁我哋最想聽到嘅咧就係啲嘢跌落嚟個聲音，因為我哋喺不斷咁嘅嘗試喺度測試緊。
Casey, what were some of the materials you were noticing?
Well, I wanted to ask Carmen, you had something there and I want to know what it is. What did you have there?
係 ，Carmen 你帶咗啲乜嘢嚟啊？
bring a lot of stuff because I don't know what exactly we would do, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, all this like I hope you can see. I have a few of jar in different size. Oh, when he's doing the video, I just do my own tip on the pencil. I have the clip, the wooden clip, fork and spoon, rubber band, some tomato already sprouting, and
perfect.
some tangerine, like tape, pencil, scissors, all this.
Wonderful. Will you name a few of those? I know I can lean on you to give Sue Ellen a quick break. Carmen, will you introduce a few of those materials in Cantonese as well?
Oh, sure, yeah. 我今日帶咗幾個樽啦，唔同 size 嘅樽啦，因為我唔係好知道會整啲乜嘢啦。橡筋啦，膠紙啦，同埋有啲好似發咗芽嘅薯仔啦，我覺得好似冇乜用啦。金啊，鉛筆啊，同埋一啲stick 啦，有啲木籤仔咯。Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Laura, I see some materials on your, what have you got there?
Oh, this is the hummingbird. It was kind of heavy, so I thought this was a great base, but I have a bunch of stuff here. So just in case if something, you have to try and something doesn't work, you try something else. And then I found these buttons and I used that because they have different shades. These also, I have my cardboard. I have spoons, forks, toothpicks. What else? Oh, I have some of these too, like foam paper, and just in case.
That's right. You never know what you might need.
I got this. Yeah.
係 Laura 帶咗好多嘢，頭先佢都見到啦。佢有嗰啲紐扣啦，有嗰啲軟嗰啲紙啦，佢仲有個餵雀仔嗰個嘢，佢話好重嘅，可以做底嘅。
And my wire.
仲有啲鐵線。Yes.
Laura, you said something I really liked, which was you know how you try something, it doesn't work, and you try something else.
Yes. So my table looked like 20 people is going to be here, and it's just full of stuff, and because I just want to use my imagination.
Beautiful.
Laura 就話佢張台而家好似擺滿晒嘢，好似要20幾個人用咁多材料，因為佢都唔知道究竟邊啲材料得，邊啲材料唔得。Step 就好中意佢話，因為拎多啲材料就可以做測試啦，就邊啲得，邊啲唔得。佢使用佢個想像力去而家去創作。
Yanis, I see you have a good base already. You have some, like a pen there. Okay, nice.
Yeah, I have a pen and have a bottle before I use for cream.
Perfect. That's a perfect thing to use. And did you tape it?
Yeah, I use tape.
Ah.
Yeah, use tape. And I want to try use a speaker, like a bass, but I never tried that. I may try that later.
That's great that you have different options. I love that.
Yanis 攞咗個音響做底喎，佢話好重，佢想等間試下嚟做底。咁佢將個支筆黐咗喺嗰個面箱嗰度，咁嚟做底。
It makes me wonder if you make a bass with a speaker and then the speaker vibrates, if your balancing sculpture would vibrate.
就話如果你要攞個音箱嚟做底嘅話，如果個音箱喺度播緊歌嘅話，喐緊嘅話，咁你上邊嗰個係咪都係會喐嘅咧？
One of my favorite things about this kind of building is that you think you're going to do one thing and then you see somebody else do something and you think, oh, that's a really good idea. So I was inspired by Carmen and Yanis both having the jars with something on it. So now I'm going to try that.
Case 話呢個研討會最好玩嘅地方咧，就係你睇到人哋用咩材料咧，咁你就會受影響，你又想用同樣嘅材料去試下。
I wanted to share too. I know this can be a little bit hard to get going with. I already see some really elaborate constructions, but a place to start can just be to pick one object and try to balance it on your finger. I'll pause for you, Sue Ellen.
Step 就話咧，其實好多嘢可以試。第一咧，佢邀請我哋擺一樣嘢擺喺我哋嘅手指嗰度，睇下可唔可以平衡到。
And then you can start thinking, what can I add? So I have a clothespin. Maybe I'll see what happens. That one was too much.
咁咧，接落嚟咧，你可以加一樣嘢上去，但係加上去咧，你試下佢可唔可以平衡到？哎呀，太重。
Ooh, Jennifer, I like what you're working on there. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. So I have a teapot here, and I don't really have anything on the inside, so I kind of just stuck the scissor on the boring end of it to let it balance, and then I'm just trying out different items to see if it can stay like a ruler.
It makes for a very dramatic angle with the scissors. It's really already beautiful to see how it's that base has such a personality.
係，咁 Jennifer 用咗一個空嘅茶壺啦，放支鉸剪，咁本身呢個就已經係好有創意。佢而家嘗試緊擺唔同嘅嘢上去。
There's something with connectors happening already, Laura?
I don't want to start getting frustrated yet.
Too early for the frustration?
I have a question. Does it have to be used a cardboard or anything is fine?
Anything
this
is
is my first time, and then I didn't.
Yes, that's a great
and then
question.
I just like grab something. It's like available next to me, and then it's like 1 month ago I make it by myself, and I use I pick it up some stick from the park, and then I glue some pom poms on it. Do you see it?
Yeah.
A pom pom, and then some jewels on the top, and then I just grab a jar or whatever, I don't know, it's a little glass jar. I put it in there, and then since the mouth is not wide enough, so to me it's very easy. I just kind of like put it like just a flower and put it inside there. And this one I use some fabric for paper. I think it's called some sort of, forgot about the name for this type of fabric, to cut it into pieces to make it into a flower shaped, and then use a hot glue gun and glue it, and then that's all.
Wow,
that's how thing? That's how you guys want to do it right now?
Well,
yeah, that's wonderful.
I love seeing this use of materials. I wonder, can you balance one of those beautiful creations on your finger and have it kind of move around? What would happen?
你想唔想試下將擺喺你嘅手指嗰度，擺落你一個手指嗰度一個點，跟住佢可唔可以平衡到？
I try.
Yeah, I'm interested if you could make the kind of balancing parts that would move when you.
I think I do. I guess I know that a little bit.
Oh, nice. And so then I wonder if you could place that onto a vase in a way where it would stand up. Like your beautiful vase, do you have some sort of ball that could be on top so you could almost balance the whole thing?
I think I can do something like this.
Maybe
the ball, and then I don't have a ball, but I have a little lantern. Then I can, and since it have some sort of like a little roped, I can just hang on it.
Well, and I wonder, could you put your lantern into your vase, like, so that becomes the base, and it's a little bit more, maybe you'll have to take some of the branches out.
You want to make it a more challenge and you get to have one?
Yeah,
I think it's interesting. Let's try it that way.
或者試下將嗰個燈籠擺上去你個花樽上邊嘅頂嗰度，
Okay.
咁就變成一個係啦，變成一個基底。
Ooh, that is more challenging.
And then would one of your branches work? Will it actually balance on top? Ooh, you might get a crash like
Because
this.
you have a hold on it, and then guess what? I can maybe.
可唔可以擺你個樹枝嗰個花枝上去平衡，可以平衡咁擺上邊咧？就係好似頭先擺喺你嘅手指，好似頭先擺喺你嘅手指咁樣平衡咁擺喺你個。
應該可以。
Yep.
That's it. You see it?
Ooh, yeah.
And then you want to do it another way. The heavy one.
That's good.
Oh,
I
the
love
heavy one.
Woo, let's see.
睇下先，你好似喺度表演緊魔術咁，你試緊你個 magic show。
Yes.
Yeah, it's my magic show here.
I loved watching how you, sorry. I loved watching how you made little adjustments so that it would, because you could see it teetering.
Yeah， 所以話佢中意睇到你慢慢移動咧，去調整嗰個角度咧，令到佢平衡翻。
Okay, thank you.
So I think you answered the question. Do you have to use cardboard? No.
No, since I don't have that cardboard right now.
Yeah， 所以而家回答咗你頭先個問題，我哋係咪一定要需要紙板？嘅答案係唔使嘅。
Oh, Sharon, that one is awesome.
Yeah. So
I like that one.
Ooh. Wow, Sue Ellen. Oh, yay! So I just want to give an incredible shout out to Sue Ellen that she could translate, facilitate, and build at the same time. That's amazing.
You know, thank you. You guys give me the opportunity. I play with this for whole afternoon. I keep texting any small object in my house. I add on it.
That's what.
Can't stop to exploring. 我好多謝佢哋俾嘅機會，我喺度一路咁研究啦，玩咗成個下晝。咁我喺屋企揾到所有嘅細件嘅嘢，我盡量喺度加上去。我想加我12支鉛筆落去嘅，但我而家係仲喺度研究緊。I say I try to add like a 12 color pencil on that balances group, but I'm still working on it. How can I add those color pencil?
Okay.
All right, Joanne, I'm really interested about what's happening on your two sides there. What's going on there?
Oh, hi, Casey. Hi. I must move beautiful, but the ruler's of my chopstick, and then on this side, I just have a random. I don't know what that's called, but I'm balancing another side of this.
Oh, cool. Is that like a metal piece that's on the top there?
Yeah, it was a part of my table.
It's like a hinge or something, an IKEA hardware.
So I'm balancing a stick on top of this that's balancing on a chopstick. And on this side is just a sifter and a ring. I don't know, I'm kind of scared to add things right now.
There's like this, I'm sorry, I'm not waiting for you, Sue Ellen. I will wait and then say.
I think, Joanne, are you comfortable to share where you working in Cantonese?
Oh, I'll try. 我呢度有一個 ruler，
係1把尺。
And then 我呢度有一個筷子，and then 呢度 依個 medal 係 a part of 我有個台，不過我唔知係叫做乜啊。但係咧，我依度又有個棍 and then balancing okay, I don't know how you say measuring cups and clips.
測量匙羹。
And then 依邊有個 sifter 同埋有個 ring.
有個鐵圈。That's good.
I was going to just comment that it's like I noticed this, and I'm going to ask a few other people about this too. That one thing I've noticed is that sometimes we get to a certain point and we really like our sculpture, and then it's very hard to make a change and to add something else. And so sometimes it's nice because you need somebody else to challenge you to make a change.
好多時候其實我哋好中意我哋而家整嗰個雕塑嘅，咁其實係要我哋改變或者要哋加啲嘢上去咧係好難嘅，但係我哋可能需要第二個人嚟挑戰我哋，將佢改變下。
Oh, can I say something?
Yes, please.
I use the pencil I prepared before, but then it can't make it balance at all. Huh. So when I'm listening to the other and see the sculpture, so I realize if I use a longer thing, like a longer pencil, it works better.
The short pencil wouldn't work.
The short pencil doesn't work well. Yeah. This is something, yeah, I found. Yeah. So I switched to all longer pencil. So I can make it like a little bit more bad, but still not working really well.
咁 Carmen 話咧，佢發現咧短嗰啲鉛筆係冇咁好平衡嘅。佢而家用晒所有長嘅鉛筆，因為佢覺得長嘅鉛筆係比喺呢個基準喺呢個係更加好用啲。
Thank you for sharing your thinking there. I love hearing your discovery about the materials.
係多謝 Carmen 同我哋分享，我哋好開心聽到佢對唔同嘅材料嘅探索。
Oh, I saw Lillian just had a crash.
我哋頭先聽到 Lillian 跌咗落嚟，整到嗰啲嘢跌咗落嚟，係咪啊
？Lillian, what are you adding on there? It looks like you have pom-poms.
Just try to do your teacher for the base, and then I heard somebody say the 8-tile pencil, and then I only add 4. And then other lady say use the longer pencil. I'm great. I grab one long pencil.
Lillian, do you mind saying that in Cantonese as well?
冇啊，我就係聽你介紹咗，所以我用咗個base 咁佢塞啲嘢落去，揾啲鉛筆之後咧，聽咗Susanna講咗，佢話想嘗試 A12 啲鉛筆，咁我咪試下抽，我就試下加落去咯，咁我做到加4支，跟住就跌到落嚟。
I love how the inspiration goes, even though we're not together, the inspiration goes between us.
我哋好開心，雖然我哋唔係同一個地方一齊做，但係我哋見到嗰個互相影響係發生緊嘅，大家互相影響各自。
同埋唔同嘅羽毛嘅大小呢，放落去佢個位置呢都係唔一樣嘅。落去佢有個好輕嘅嘢，但係佢會好敏感同埋好微。
Yeah, but that's very true. Like Lillian comments that even the feather really light, but you add on the top, they make a huge difference. Those sculptures are very sensitive.
I was noticing that too. I have some feathers that actually changed how it balanced.
Yeah, Seth 佢都有一支羽毛，但係佢加上去咧，佢令到成個平衡雕塑係會發生變化嘅。
Thank you for sharing, Lillian. I'm wondering if Tracy, I noticed you having a lot going on there. Would you tell us a little bit about what you're working on?
I'm not sure what I'm working on. I just put the this is the night. Yeah.
And
But
then
you have to have a fall, Tracy. That's how you know it's working if it falls.
and then I have this is the orange skin. And then I try to make it balanced because this is the night. I want to put something on it and then turn on my night and see if any on the color or something.
Cool.
It will.
Oh, I can't wait to see you turn on the light and test it out. You'll have to do a big reveal when you're ready.
Yeah. Tracy, do you mind saying that in Cantonese as well?
OK，我就係因為我呢個咧係個燈嚟嘅，咁咧我就上面咧有個橙皮啦，佢因為係咁嘅形，我就放咗，咁我就吊啲嘢落去，我打算吊啲唔同啲，吊啲唔同嗰啲可以反光啊嗰啲嘢落去，等我開燈嗰時咧睇下佢喐啦，呢啲喐佢啲顏色會唔會變啦咁咯。
Thank you, Tracy. Elena, I see something growing next to you. Do you mind sharing what you're making?
Honestly, I'm not sure. It's using my brain. I try to put things to coming down, but to stay in the same place. But I don't know. It looks like it's not working.
I don't think it's. I mean, I can't speak for you. I think something's working because lots of things are balancing there.
Yeah, I try to balance a lot of things, different items with different weights, and see if I can be able to do it.
Wonderful.
I like the idea of paying attention to that even if it's not working the way you expected it to, success can also be that you tried out so many different things and that the process, it seems like you learned something from the process too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Alina 就話佢好似嘗試得好多，但好似唔係好成功咁。但係 Casey 就話其實佢有見到個成功嘅地方啊，最起碼佢見到係平衡到嘅。咁 Sep 就話誒係喎，其實喺個過程當中，無論成唔成功平衡都好，但係喺呢個過程中，我哋自己本身係學到好多嘢嘅。
And I see that we got a question from YouTube about the online community of practice. So Sue Ellen and I are very lucky to be part of two different communities of practice. One is a trilingual community of practice where educators meet together once a month to talk about STEAM and especially to do this kind of hands-on tinkering activity as adults, have our own experiences. And we do that in partnership with our another colleague, Yuri Laraburo, sponsored by First Five. And then we also have the group here is primarily from the Cardboard PLC, which is an English and Cantonese group that Sue Ellen and I offer once a month.
我哋收到一個問題咧，係喺YouTube 嘅，咁佢就問我哋有冇在線嘅實踐嘅小組，我哋就有3個嘅。第一個咧就係我同 Casey 兩個係雙語嘅，係關於一個紙板嘅製作嘅學習群組嘅，我哋每個月見一次，係晚上嘅。咁另外一個咧係關於3語嘅，係我哋一個叫做小小創客嘅，類似係呢種咁嘅練習同埋呢種咁嘅一齊去探索，去研究用咩材料喺我哋嘅課室俾啲小朋友嘅。最後呢個咧就係我哋而家做緊呢個嘅平衡研討會啦。
Great. So I wonder if as you wrap up your builds, I wonder if we can move into reflecting a little bit on how this process has been for you. And so we would love to hear what was something that was surprising or challenging.
咁我哋接落下一個環節咧，就係想問下大家喺呢個製作過程當中咧，係有乜嘢令到你感覺驚奇驚訝嘅地方咧？
It was very frustrating.
Tell us more about that.
Yes, because I wanted to do like a plane, something really like a spaceship, something really nice, but the balance on one side didn't work. And I wanted to use a lot of material, but I realized that it was hard to combine so quickly, heavy and light, especially with the cardboard, because the cardboard, this one, it is not so heavy. I don't know how to explain. It was just frustrating. So what I did, I just gonna leave it like that. And maybe when I have more time, I can add different things and be a little bit more creative. But also, I don't know if you can see when I made this other one. Let's see if I can move my laptop. I wanted to cheat. Sorry.
That's okay to cheat.
Yes. And then I thought, if I make this little thing there, it will stay. But it didn't. It didn't. And I was like, what's going on? So as you can see, it has to have, you see that? It is still balancing. So I don't have to cheat. And it was frustrated because I wanted to do something really, really big. But I don't need to put a lot of things, the simpler. And I mean, this is something that is from the paper, when like from the toilet, you know, the tube from the toilet. Yes. And it's something very simple. Something very simple. And then these buttons, which are beautiful. And that was it. I didn't need to use all the material. Of course, I'm gonna do it. But at this moment, no, because my goal is to be able to balance this and keep it there. And not being afraid to move it because I will feel that it's gonna fall off. It doesn't, so I'm proud.
Thank you. You want to summarize that, Suellen?
Yes. 咁 Laura 佢同我哋分享咗咧，佢話成個過程其實係好掹整嘅，因為成日都會跌嘅。佢嘗試想用好多嘢加埋一齊啦，但係好難咯。佢發現因為每個材料咧有唔同嘅重量啦，有啲係重啲，有啲係輕啲。佢話特別係嗰啲紙板咧係好輕嘅，所以好難中間個紙板係好輕嘅，好難去 hold 住咁多重嘅嘢。咁佢其實一開始係想整一個好靚嘅嘢，但係到最後發現唔係嘅，唔係冇辦法整到好靚。但係佢個目標咧係要平衡佢哋所有嘅嘢，去令到佢停喺度，等佢兩邊平衡。咁佢話呢個過程係好令人掹整嘅，但係咧佢發現一樣嘢就係唔需要用太複雜嘅材料，簡單嘅，例如廁所紙筒啊，用完嘅廁所紙筒啊，都係好簡單嘅材料，同埋咧佢用嗰啲紐扣咧，佢話到最後吊上去係好靚嘅。
And as you can see, I was afraid I was getting insecure. That's what I put 2 pencils. But actually, this one is held just with 1 pencil. Can you see it? That's what I put it on the side.
It's just on one.
Yeah, and if I rotate it like softly, it stays there. You see?
That's awesome.
I really appreciate you sharing that you went through that journey of frustration to something that you were proud of, with lots of interesting moments in between. So maybe we can hear more about what for others was surprising or challenging.
Yeah. 咁阿 Seb 就其實提到一樣嘢，其實係好緊要嘅。佢聽 Laura 講，由開始好掹整，到最後感到好驕傲，覺得自己好叻，因為佢可以平衡到嗰個佢個紙筒上面嗰啲嘢。佢之前仲諗住加多個保險，用2支鉛筆，但最後發現嗰個紙筒淨係停喺一個點上面，1支鉛筆上邊。 咁睇下有冇其他人想分享下，令到你感到驚喜或者驚訝或者具有挑戰性嘅地方係乜嘢？
Olivia, I'm going to spotlight you so we can see your creation and hear what surprised you.
Okay. It's really surprising to know how difficult this really was. I looked online yesterday. I was trying to get some ideas for like, tinkering, balancing. And when I saw it online, I was like, oh, it doesn't look that hard, but no, it's really hard. Like you really gotta like hold your breath to add a piece. And it's so true. Even using like pipe cleaners or like feathers, right? That doesn't weigh anything makes a huge difference in balancing.
Yeah.
Olivia 佢就分享咧，佢覺得成個過程其實都好難嘅。佢琴晚咧都上網去睇嗰啲 video， 佢發現咦其實都唔係咁難啦，或者我可以試下。咁到最後佢發現其實都幾難嘅。就算係好容易，我哋平時嗰啲軟嘅鐵線或者係一條羽毛咧，好輕，但係你加上去咧，都完全係唔一樣嘅效果出嚟，即係都會改變好多。Am I right?
Thank you, Olivia, for sharing. I really appreciate your reflection, and I feel like our slogan should be "Hold your breath while you do it."
係頭先唔記得講一樣嘢 ，Olivia 話喺佢製作過程當中咧，佢連唞氣都唔敢，佢要小心啲呼氣吸氣，如果唔係咧，會影響到呢個平衡。
Carmen, would you be willing to share something that's surprising or challenging?
Sure. I think this one is very challenge. Okay, I'm going to put it down. So, but the first one, when I do the pencil, so I realized the shorter one it's very difficult to balance it. So, and also when I see step your video, like when you're showing the sculpture from the screen, it looks so simple. But when I try to put a pencil on, it keeps falling down. It's so frustrating. Like I keep trying, and then I have the longer one. Even the longer one, it takes a while to keep moving it back and forth to make it balanced. But after you you find the balance point for each item. So you every time you have weight on the other side, you have to move the whole thing to make the weight balance, right? If somehow, some way, some side, the other side, the weight is like more than the one side, so you have to move the whole object. It's not easy.
It's not. I try it, but then I was like, I have to find the point, and I was getting nervous and shaking my fingers, and I was like, no, I have to do that alone with more time.
Now even I put it on, it doesn't work this way. I think this one is the weight on the top. So it's hard to find a balance point. I learned that the weight probably need to hold the object down some way, is not on top. Then maybe this way we work better.
Yeah, maybe more like what Joanne has, where things are dropping down.
So the weight is supposed to be pulling the thing going down because of the cavity.
Carmen, will you share that insight about going down in Cantonese too?
Oh, sure. 頭先咧我自己覺得好難嘅咧，就係好似我睇佢播出嚟嗰啲視頻咧，好似影出嚟好似好容易咁咯。但係當我自己用啲鉛筆擺嗰時咧，擺嚟擺去都擺唔到啊。咁我就覺得可能係我鉛筆短啦，咁我就攞咗啲長嘅啦。咁長嘅咧都好難啊，好似成日要褪嚟褪去個位咧，先至好似搣到佢，整到佢平衡啦。咁整到之後咧，我哋自己又試下用呢個紙板啦，同埋用啲其他物件啦。咁又我初咁樣擺啊，又發覺咧就平衡唔到嘅，因為呢個力咧原來佢個重去咗上邊啊，所以咧好似要平衡嘅話咧，我自己覺得咧就好似我學到就係應該要將啲力咧拉向下咧，咁兩邊先至就翻落嚟咯。
Thank you.
And I want to say thank you because many of you have shared your frustrations with this, and you've done it in a way where there are also lots of smiles and laughing. And so I feel like that's a good reflection of the tinkering process, where there's a lot of frustration, but somehow it's still interesting and you're proud of what you make and you want to share it. So thank you for coming in with that energy.
Yeah, 阿 Seth 就話 好多謝大家分享啦。咁其實雖然大家分享出嚟都話，哎呀好掹整啊，每次都係成日都整唔到嘅。但係每次我哋講呢啲嘅時候，都係笑住嚟講嘅。咁其實呢個係一個搗鼓嘅過程啦，係一個製作過程啦。咁雖然係個過程唔容易，但係到最後都係好似好興奮，同埋好驕傲，感到自己如果係做得到嘅話，同埋個過程我哋覺得好好玩咯。
係啊，阿 Sharon 我有同感。
So can I have the same feeling, like feeling? It's kind of interesting the process. That's a tingle, as Seb said. That's a tingling process. Like it's a fun, and then we power of ourselves when we make it at the end.
我分享下。When I'm doing it, and then I'm thinking about the next topic and how to play with the kid.
Oh my gosh. So I didn't ask Jenny to say that, but she just made like a really nice transition for us.
I'm just thinking about, hey, that's a good one. And I'm thinking, remind me, and I have one class with the kids and using a block to make balance and build a big house and castle. And the kids were so excited when they see the blocks falling down. Then I'm thinking about another creation, another topic for the kids to do it.
你要唔要分享下廣東話講一次啊？
好啊，我記得我有一堂課係教佢哋點玩 block 啲木頭嘅，因為係木頭嘅，咁有時佢哋飆得太高嘅話，會跌親會受傷，就係基於安全嗰個時候，咁教佢哋點玩，咁然後我記得有一次係起得比較高，咁然後突然之間跌落嚟，咁樣每一次嗰個木頭跌落嚟咧，啲細路仔都好開心，見到佢跌落嚟就好開心嘅。咁我而家喺度玩緊，亦都係覺得跌落嚟都幾開心啊！就重新再搞過。我諗住下一堂同佢哋講下呢方面嘅嘢，然後呢個平衡咧，同埋嘅嗰個地心吸力啊，各方面嘅嘢，我諗都可以同佢哋分享下，咁講下呢方面嘅嘢。你睇做下就可以 create 一堂課出嚟啦。
Jenny just add one thing. Last time she was doing the balancing and building the house with the kiddo. So every time, she remember one time building really high, and then all the blocks just fall down. When the block fall down, all the kids just laughing so hard, and they kind of enjoy the falling process, like building and then falling. And then she said, like, oh, how can I get some idea from this workshop to do something with them in the classroom with the kiddo? And then she also too, like when she doing the creation, every time falling, she would feel so happy.
It means a new one coming up.
That's such a nice way to put it. That means that there's a new one coming up.
係跌咗唔緊要，跌咗就意思係下一個新嘅又嚟啦。
It's like hard to stop because I think we could spend a lot more time looking and crashing and building together. But I do want to ask us to do a little bit of a change of perspective for a second.
係我哋都唔想咁快完，但係咧就轉一個話題就話，我哋點樣去換一個角度去諗另一個問題。
We so far today asked you to really participate as yourself, as an adult, to sort of Steph said, take your educator hat off so that you could really play and tinker yourself today.
咁今日我哋一開始就邀請你就拎開你做教育者嘅角色，就係為你自己去玩同埋製作你嘅創作。
But like Ming made the perfect transition and said, I'm starting to think about how I would do this with children. And so in our little bit of time left, we want to use a technique called chatterfall.
咁我哋而家利用翻呢個時間，就係一個好好嘅轉折點，係點樣去將呢樣嘢換一個角度去諗。
And so I put a question in the chat for our panelists that says, how would you explore balance with children? And the idea is that you could answer this in the chat in any language you choose, but we're not going to press return. So you can write in your answer into the chat, but not press return yet.
咁你可以咁個問題咧，就係話，你點樣同小朋友去一齊探索呢個平衡咧？咁你就寫，你可以用任何一種語言寫喺個聊天室，但係你就唔好撳。Is it not press send?
Yeah, don't press send yet.
未好撳發送住，你就係打喺個聊天室嗰度。
And the reason we do that is because sometimes when we're answering questions, we are worried because somebody already said the same thing we did, or we're not sure. And so when we all do it at once, you don't have to worry about repetition.
係，咁個目的我哋就係你寫咗落去，但係未發送嘅目的咧，就係有時我哋覺得，哎呀，人哋都講咗啦，我又重複人哋所講嘅嘢，咁我哋而家係同一時間發送，咁就唔會有種擔憂，就話我哋重複又重複，咁就係我哋嘅 idea 一齊分享出嚟。
So I'm going to do a quick countdown and just put in any words that come to mind about how would you explore balance with children.
咁任何一個單詞、任何一個句子或任何一樣嘢，你想同小朋友一齊分享關於平衡嘅話，咁 case 就係倒數，咁我哋1、2、3就擺上去，佢嚟倒數。
So I'll do 10,
10、9、
8,
8、
7、
7、
6、
6、
5、
5、
4、
4、
3、
3、
2、
2、
1.
1。
And then you can press return.
大家可以發送。
Ooh, so much here. Sue Ellen, do you want to give us a couple of highlights of what you're seeing?
Tracy said, use a pen to balancing the pace. That's amazing. I'm going to steal those ideas.
Yes.
I love, Joanne, I love your comment. I'd lay out the materials with images of different balance sculptures, like the ones you showed at the beginning. That idea of having examples in the space.
Yeah.
Joanne 話就佢擺晒啲材料同埋啲相，用唔同嘅平衡嘅雕塑，咁就係好似我哋頭先喺度做我哋嘅研討會咁開始嘅時候，我哋擺晒出嚟。
I also see Jennifer saying that she noticed you can use anything to balance, and that goes right along with what Elena wrote about using loose pieces or loose parts, that there's so many different materials you could use. And Jennifer also says we can encourage children to go around the classroom and find different kinds of objects to try to balance.
Yeah. 呢度好多主意就係用零部件啦、零碎部件啦，或者係喺課室揾唔同嘅材料去做平衡啦，嘗試做平衡啦。
I'm going to pass it to Steph to share a quick image of a provocation that she's used with children with balance.
咁 Steph 而家同我哋分享佢用佢同小朋友一齊做呢個平衡活動嘅相同埋 video。
Yeah, thank you, Casey and Swellen. So I wanted to share, this is a version of an activity we've done around exploring balance and stability, but with a slightly different material set for children that we call unstable table.
咁我哋呢啲相咧係同小朋友一齊探索平衡嘅，但係咧呢個係用一個係叫做唔穩固嘅平面上面。
And so you'll recognize some of the materials are very familiar materials, some figurines, and some of the objects we use today.
咁你會留意到咧，有啲係好常見嘅材料，同埋咧你會見到呢啲係我哋好似頭先嘅紙球筒咁，我哋都喺呢度用過嚟嘅。有啲同事會用到嚟。
So we'll,
而家 show 俾我哋睇緊。
And so we'll share more resources around this, but we just wanted to share one example of how your balance explorations today could be adapted to an early childhood context.
我哋而家再俾你睇 show 俾大家睇一樣圖片，就係我哋而家用緊呢個材料點樣去轉翻成為可以用喺課室上面嘅材料。
And I can't believe how quickly our time moved, but I'm so thankful that we got to be with you all. And for this Tuesday night group, thank you for coming together on a Saturday. We're really excited about the Tinkering Together Festival. We hope you check out the website and all of the resources and voices that are on there. And again, we're really thankful that this project was funded by the National Science Foundation and that we get to be sharing ideas.
時間過得真係快啊！咁好開心大家今日一齊嚟參加我哋呢個 Tinkering Studio 嘅研討會，個平衡嘅研討會啦。咁多謝National Science Foundation 嘅贊助啦。所有任何關於呢方面我哋今日做嘅呢啲嘅材料，咁喺個網站上邊就有嘅，歡迎大家去瀏覽。
Thank you. I had fun.
Yay! We're
The
so glad
reward
you're
of
here.
the frustration was worth it.
It was worth it? Good.
Yes, I love it. I enjoy it a lot.
Yeah. 好想睇 Teacher Ming 係整咗啲乜嘢？好想。頭先我見到一個 Well, I was just wondering what I want to see how Teacher Ming doing because I see the orange. I see the orange. It's okay.
Hold on. Okay, let me see. 我講中文，我攞呢個擺，然後攞支筆，然後攞呢個試下嚟啲，我咁樣攞個平衡點，因為我嘗試下咁，原來我有好多可以加落去嘅，咁即係我好多謝喺呢個機會自己學多啲平衡啦。咁我喺學校會，我學校係 bilingual 咁啊，小朋友，因為我從來冇俾小朋友做呢個平衡，咁我會多啲活動俾小朋友嘗試。
Yeah. So Teacher Ming, she in a bilingual school, so she never thought about that balancing idea to implementing in her classroom. So after the workshop, she will do that, try that, and then offer this material to her kids in the classroom.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Ming. Thank you.
Welcome. Thank you.
Thank you to everybody so much for coming together. We're just honored to get to be with you all.
係好開心，大家可以見到大家係好開心，大家嚟參加我哋呢個研討會，多謝晒。
Great.
Bye.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
多謝。